Have you ever wondered how to find a wife in today's world? A woman who loves God and values a true relationship over material things. Modern society often confuses love with luxury, affection with attention, and relationships with convenience. Many women pursue wealth, status, and fleeting pleasures instead of cultivating a heart grounded in God. For a man who truly knows God, this presents both a challenge and a calling to discern wisely, act patiently, and follow God's guidance. In the Bible, God teaches that marriage is sacred, a union of hearts, souls, and purpose. Genesis 2:24. A wife is meant to be a helper, a supporter, a partner in faith, and a source of peace. But in the modern world, appearances and material desires can cloud judgment. God warns that marrying for wealth, beauty, or convenience leads to disappointment, conflict, and emptiness. A woman who values material possessions over spiritual growth cannot provide the love, peace, and companionship a godly marriage requires. Before seeking a wife, God calls a man to prepare himself. This means building character, faith, responsibility, and stability. A man should be spiritually strong, financially responsible, emotionally mature, and ready to lead with love. God's wisdom emphasizes that marriage is not a solution to loneliness or emptiness. It is a partnership between two faithful hearts. When the man grows in faith, purpose, and discipline, he becomes capable of recognizing a woman who will complement, support, and grow alongside him. The modern temptation is to chase what is flashy or convenient. The divine principle, however, is different. Seek a woman whose heart is aligned with God's, who respects herself, honors others, and values true connection. When a man follows God's guidance, the path toward finding a wife becomes clearer, less rushed, and filled with wisdom rather than desire or convenience. Patience, prayer, and discernment are essential. God teaches that a man must first become the man God intends him to be before finding a wife. A man must cultivate faith, purpose, and integrity. He must develop discipline, financial stability, emotional maturity, and the ability to love selflessly. A marriage is not a fix for weakness. It is a partnership between two whole hearts. Consider the story of Isaac and Rebekah. Abraham sent a servant to find a wife for Isaac, not based on beauty or wealth, but on character, faith, and alignment with God's plan. Genesis 24. Similarly, a modern man must pray and seek God's guidance in choosing a partner. Before looking for a wife, invest in your own spiritual growth. Learn patience, humility, and leadership. Build a life that reflects God's love, so that the woman you attract will also share your values and purpose. A man must also understand his priorities. Focus on God first, service, career, and emotional stability. When these areas are strong, he can discern between superficial attraction and genuine compatibility. Many men rush into relationships seeking validation or comfort, but God calls for deliberate preparation. Prayer, reflection, and self-improvement form the foundation of a successful and godly marriage. In a modern world where many women prioritize material gain, a man must cultivate wisdom. Look beyond appearances, social media impressions, or temporary charm. Seek depth, integrity, kindness, and faith. A woman who truly values God, family, and love will appreciate a man who has grown spiritually and emotionally. God guides men to recognize these qualities, teaching patience and discernment in every step. When a man follows God's guidance, prepares himself, and seeks a woman aligned with faith and character, the reward is a marriage full of peace, love, and purpose. A godly wife will be a partner in prayer, a source of support, and a companion in God's work. She will help you grow spiritually, emotionally, and morally, creating a home centered on God's principles. Marriage is not about luxury, convenience, or status. It is about partnership, trust, and shared devotion to God. A man who focuses on his growth, follows God's guidance, and waits patiently will find a woman whose heart is pure, whose priorities are aligned, and whose love strengthens rather than weakens. In a world that glorifies materialism, God teaches that true value is found in faith, virtue, and character. A godly woman uplifts, respects, and walks in harmony with her husband, providing peace and encouragement in all circumstances. For a man who seeks God first, the journey of finding a wife becomes an act of faith, patience, and discernment. The result is a marriage built on love, trust, respect, and God's eternal guidance. A union that brings true happiness, spiritual growth, and a home filled with divine blessing.